Part of what makes Mario 64 such a fantastic game is the course selection, so I thought I would rank all 15 courses in Super Mario 64 from worst to first. Some of them are terrible, while others are actually pretty good. Now, just a few things to get out of the way before we get started. I'm only including the actual courses, meaning secret courses and Bowser levels are not going to be included. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into it. Listen, I was really debating between Rainbow Ride and Tick-Tock Clock for last place, but I just had to give it to Tick-Tock Clock due to one really small reason, and it's quite silly really. But if you fall down in Tick-Tock Clock, there is a chance that you will just take a lot of damage instead of dying. Meaning, depending on what star you're trying to get, you have to make your way all the way back up top. It also doesn't help that the jumps you have to make in this course are pretty precise, to the point where just one screw-up can cost you a life. This level design in the stage is just way too linear, which makes it feel like a Kaizo stage or something. Now, I will admit, the aesthetic is cool and all. I mean, you're climbing a freaking clock, that's awesome. This clock tower kind of aesthetic was actually used in future Mario games, and it works really well there. But in execution, this level is just absolutely awful, with stage gimmicks put in place to make you rip your hair out. So I don't think Rainbow Ride is as bad as Tick-Tock Clock, mainly because it's generally just more open. At first glance, it may just look like random assets are placed everywhere with a rainbow connecting everything. Which, yeah, it definitely is. But my point is, some of the set pieces in this course are actually really fun to explore. But it's all fine until you actually hop on the carpet for some of the missions. This absolutely sucks. This thing is so incredibly slow and just breaks the pace so much. If the carpet wasn't required for some of the stars, then this level would probably be higher on the list. But the stupid carpet just makes it so terrible. And to add insult to injury, the music slider playing throughout the level will slowly drive you insane depending on how much you die. And don't even get me started on trying to get 100 coins in this level. It's just completely awful. Now, I will be 100% honest, I don't think this course is as bad as what some people claim, but unfortunately, it's bad enough to the point where it's this low on the list. My main problem with Wet Dry World is that the water rising mechanic can get pretty annoying at times, and I can't nitpick this level without mentioning these stupid enemies. I don't even know what they're called, but I don't really need to know what they're called. They're terrible. Sometimes they just launch you where they want you to go, but most times they will just launch you in some random direction, which will most likely make you die, or at least make you lose a lot of damage. And I just gotta say, the hidden tiny town is not that bad. It's pretty cramped, but hey, it's okay. It's fine. I mean, it really serves no purpose, but I think it's neat. But with this course, I feel like they just combined a bunch of bad enemies and assets and called it a day, because with some random obstacles thrown in, this level just feels unfinished, I guess you could say. But in short, this level is just really annoying. I don't think it's anything too horrible. In fact, I think it's kind of a bit underrated. But unfortunately, all the other levels on the list are just better. Yeah, I don't really understand the praise this level gets, mainly because there's just really not much here. The course immediately drops you into a water section upon entering, and this water section doesn't really have much to do. You have the treasure chest puzzle the eel in this cage, but that's really it. But when you make it to the submarine area, it doesn't really add much to do. There's another water section that has little to nothing in it. You can find some coins, but that's really it. The only thing left is the poles you can jump off of, and these are just really annoying and tedious. It just slows down the whole level. They're just really slow and it breaks the pace when you're trying to collect the red coins. But other than that, there's just really nothing else. This course is just pretty bare bones if you ask me. Now here's another pretty annoying course. Shifting Sandland does a lot right, I will admit, but there are certain things in this level that are just so incredibly bad that it just brings down the level so much. For starters, the frickin' bird is just the bane of my existence. Now if it takes your hat, then you must get it back, or else you'll be playing the whole game hatless, which just doesn't look right. Along with that, everything this level has to offer, from these swamp cube things to even the pyramid, is just not very good. Exploring the interior of the pyramid is cool enough, I guess, but there's just nothing really interesting about this course. Some of the missions are also stupidly difficult, like the one where you have to ground pound the 4 pillars, and trust me, it's harder than it looks. And the quicksand is also one of the biggest annoyances in this game. All in all, this course is just annoying like Wet Dry World. There's just really nothing good about it. Now, hear me out. I know a lot of people like this level. I just don't really like it at all. And the main reason for that is just because I hate the big and small mechanic. I hate that some things are accessible when the stage is big and vice versa. It just gets really annoying when switching between the two. Now, the level design is not terrible. It's about as good as the higher courses on this list. It's just that the gimmick of switching between big and small just really ruins the course for me. It's that bad. There are good things about this level, I'm not going to fail to acknowledge that, but the stupid gimmick just brings down the level so much for me, and that honestly really sucks. What was put in place to be just a cool gimmick ended up ruining the entire level. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with Snowman's Land. I mean, some of the things in this level can get pretty annoying, like the stupid wall of snow in the shell, but other than that, it's pretty okay. I didn't really find the penguin thing too much of an issue. The same applies to the inside of the igloo. One thing that was kind of annoying though was collecting red coins, as you need to use the shell for most of them, and the shell is pretty janky to control, if you will. This course is just pretty good, I guess you can say. It's just that it's in a weird spot, that it's not too great, but it's also not too bad by any means, if you know what I mean. Hazy Maze Cave is another pretty underrated level if you ask me. Now I understand that it can be pretty confusing to navigate because, well, it's a maze, but there are certain aspects about this course that I just can't refuse to praise. I mean, who doesn't like Dory? Yeah, of course this course can get really annoying. The red coins are just not fun to get, this whole section of the course is just not fun really, and the actual maze part is pretty bad because of the toxic gas. But is it the worst level in the game like some people say? No, absolutely not. The course has bad design in some places, but it's not enough to bring the whole level down enough to consider it to be the worst course in the game. Previous courses already mentioned on this list have done much worse than this one. Yeah, I think Lethal Lava Land is pretty good. I like it. From the start, the course has a lot to do, with different mini-bosses, puzzles, and just a lot of things going on. Now, is it very organized? No, not at all. But I think it's neat how they fit so many ideas into this one pretty open area. This doesn't mean that this level doesn't have its annoyances, though. The volcano, while cool in concept, kinda stinks. Both paths you can take are pretty boring and just slow. But that's really a minor nitpick, and the volcano is only a fraction of what the level has to offer, so yeah. I just think this level deserves way more credit than what it gets. I just have a lot of fun playing this course. Now, this course is an absolute classic, I can't deny that. I know some of you are probably going to be mad at the placement of this course on this list, and I'm not saying that this course is bad by any means. It's really good, I just cannot deny its flaws. Let's just look at the good things first. The sunken ship is just really cool, man. The whole aesthetic of this level is just great, there's no denying that. In fact, I think it might have the best aesthetic out of any course in this game. However, this is unfortunately a water level, which just makes it hard to explore and truly appreciate. If this wasn't a water level, then it probably would be put higher on the list, but I just can't give it more credit. However, I can't go without acknowledging that the music is absolutely fantastic. I hate the swimming in Mario 64, but Jolly Roger Bay just made it better, so for that, I'll put it at number 6. Now, this is definitely the better of the two snow levels in the game if you ask me, and I just really like the level design of Cool Cool Mountain. You can either quickly slide down the whole thing, or you can gradually make your way back up, which allows you to find all sorts of cool things. The slide race against the penguin is also pretty fun. Generally, the mission lineup in this course is very unique, like one of the missions requires you to give this snowman a body, so you have to roll a giant snowball down the hill. Overall, I'm just a fan of this course. It's not anything groundbreaking, but I just like it way better than Snowman's Land. Yeah, I know. On the surface, Tall Mountain is pretty generic, but that's what makes it kinda good in my opinion. It truly is a good feeling when you finally make your way to the top of the mountain to collect the star, and there are just multiple ways to climb the mountain which can really test your skill. And how can we forget about the secret slide portion? What a cool secret, man. Now, I understand that putting this course at number 4 may shock some people, but I just had a lot of fun playing through this course. It was just a nice break from all of the gimmicks that populated the later half of the game. Big Boo's Haunt is simply amazing, man. The second you hop into a mission, you know you're in for some spooky stuff, as this level looks very dull and eerie compared to the other courses in this game. The house itself contains many rooms that each have their own ideas and enemies within them. Speaking of enemies, they are truly something special. I mean, we all know about that creepy piano, who doesn't remember that? Another cool part about this level is the carousel underneath the house, which is kinda weird, I won't lie. It doesn't really fit with the rest of the course, but hey, I still like it. And to top it all off, the music that plays in the background throughout the stage is genuinely spooky. The music is really what makes the stage so creepy. It's great. I just think Big Boo's Haunt deserves more credit, man. It's really open, and it's just such a fun level to play through. Bob-omb Battlefield is truly the definitive Super Mario 64 course, if you ask me. The music, the level design, the missions, the power-ups, everything comes together to make one of the best levels in video game history. Everyone knows Bob-omb Battlefield, man, and it's still really fun to this day. The King Bomb boss fight is truly a classic, and to be honest, it's probably one of my favorite boss fights in the game. Grabbing the wing cap and flying around is also cool. It can get pretty annoying, but hey, still cool. There's just generally a lot to do in this level. It's really an amazing first level. Unfortunately, the later levels in the game cannot top it. But even with Bob-omb Battlefield, Whomp's Fortress just takes the title for the best course in Super Mario 64. Everything I mentioned about Bob-omb Battlefield also applies to Whomp's Fortress, but there's even more going on. The level design is simply genius, and dare I say, perfect? Climbing to the top of the fortress is just so satisfying, and defeating King Whomp once you get to the top is just, I don't really know, man, it's just great. Now, the mission lineup in this course is not the best, I will admit. Some of these missions are just really weird, like for example, launching yourself into this random wall is just weird, but it's still freaking awesome. The owl mission is also easy, but can get pretty annoying if you're not familiar with the controls. There's just so many secret enemies, and Whomp's Fortress just combines everything good about Mario 64 into one level. It just sucks that it's only the second course in the game, meaning that everything after it is just inferior in comparison. But that's going to go ahead and end it off for this video. I would love to hear your Mario 64 course rankings in the comment section down below. Which ones are your favorites and which ones are your least favorites? But that's it, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.